Yeah. Woo! Live from the Vanguard wine cellar, where the wine is spelled with an H.
Oh.
Because one of their clients is asking them to vote on a director.
Oh.
It's an all-new, terrific Tuesday edition of Business Pants, joined by analyst hole Matt Mascardi. Woo!
Oh.
On today's bacon-dusted audit committee chairperson called October 1st, 2024, a dumb ESG news quiz.
Yeah.
Woo!
All right.
Haven't had one of these in a while.
We have not, but I do like the idea of a bacon-dusted audit committee chair.
What happened to bacon-dusted? It kind of went away. I feel like the pandemic killed all the fun of life, including bacon-dusted things.
Was that a thing, though? I
Yeah,
don't
wasn't
know
it?
where that was a thing.
Donuts and, I don't know,
I've never had I've had
life
bacon
insurance
on
plans. I don't know. iPhone 24. All right, our show today is being sponsored by FreeFlow Analytics, the only platform measuring board power, connections, and performance for free. This is no joke. Over 9,000 companies. How many directors? 20,000? 90,000. And I use this. I know some of you are thinking, boy, these two are idiots and this show is frivolous. But really, actually, you're wrong. It's not. I use
Only
this
my mom
database.
thinks that.
I use this database constantly for research to find all kinds of wonderful things. Even simple things like tenure, age. It doesn't have to be all the complicated stuff.
Can I ask you, does it undermine the platform when you say I use it for research?
I don't know. You're stupid not to use it. Even if you just do a little bit of light research on equities, you want to know the boards, and it's easy. It's really easy to use.
If you've got a portfolio on
really
Robinhood of like 4 stocks that your brother's uncle said were hot, you should just look up who runs these companies. I mean, it takes 4
everything works
seconds
well.
And it's free.
The search bar works well. It's quick. It's responsive. All right, come on. Let's get to the show. Let's do a quiz. Come on.
All right, let's do a quiz. Do we want quiz music, or what are we doing? What am I doing for you? Like,
you can give me an intro.
Okay.
Quiz intro music.
We'll
okay, fine. Here we go. So what I did, Matt, is I just picked 6 headlines from the past day. I think these are really the past day or two. And I'm going to ask you a series of questions, ESG questions, mostly governance related, but questions about the companies they're talking about, the people they're talking about. Here, okay, let me start off with this one. This is something we talked about in the past, and I think this is going to be your new favorite exchange, your new favorite stock exchange pretty soon.
I have lots of favorite stock exchanges, yeah.
Texas Stock Exchange moves closer to launch with leadership team and board.
What?
Texas Governor Greg Abbott said on yesterday, that the exchange will ensure that businesses have access to capital and that market participants have more choice.
Oh, I love that. Like,
sounds very woke. Sounds very woke, Greg Abbott.
Super Republicans love choice.
Here we go. Let's dive into the leadership team. I went right to the website. 22 people on the leadership team. How many women, Matt? How many women on the Texas Stock Exchange leadership team? 22 people. And before you guess, there are a lot of women in Texas. More than half, I think, actually. A lot of women in Texas. A lot to pick from. A lot of great universities, too. University of Texas, SMU, Rice.
In pre-production, Damien said he was doing a quiz, so I avoided basically as much news as possible. I have not seen any of these. I don't know what's going on with any of these. So
how many women on the leadership team at the Texas Stock Exchange?
Wow, what a question. I'm going to go with 6. 6.
Oh, that's generous.
What?
Yeah. Matt, one.
What?
One woman.
One?
Her name is Nicole Chambers, a single woman on the leadership team at the Texas Truck. I mean, that's a mic drop moment, right, for that exchange. I mean, they're basically saying who they are. This is who we are.
That's called choice, is what that's called.
Yeah, let's stay with that. How many people of color on the leadership team? How many people of color? Remember, this is Texas. This is not Maine. This is not Vermont. This is Texas. Where white people are in the minority in Texas.
I was doing a research project for a client where we were looking for man brand risk for these like DEI coward U-turn boards and their exposure to like states where there's like manliness, quote on air quotes, built in. Mm-hmm. And I did not know that Texas was actually like only 37% white. It's actually majority non-white. So even if I ignored the demographics and said they skewed white, they have to have, out of 22 people, 9 of them, at least 9 have to be.
Again, very generous.
Oh, no.
The answer is 1.
Oh, no.
So this is
not the woman.
No, it's not the woman. It's a man named Harvey Cloyd. So this is the anti-DEI movement in action, right? This is the anti-ESG movement personified, the Texas Stock Exchange. Congratulations for bringing America back to what, 1841? Is that where we are? 1823?
Yeah. That should be the next question. What year is Texas in?
What do they wish it was? And I have to tell you something about Harvey Cloyd because it made me laugh. Harvey Cloyd is only board service. I'm not going to make you guess because it's on a place called the Crenshaw Christian Center, which is a mega church in Los Angeles. But I have to laugh at this because they sound a lot like Norfolk Southern because the Crenshaw Christian Center is run by the Price family. It's just 4 Price members listed on the website. One of them is no longer living, so we're down to 3. 2 of them, Dr. Fred Price and Dr. Betty Price, they're called doctors, but they have honorary doctors of divinity degrees. Honorary. That's not a doctor. I'm sorry. That's not a doctor.
No, so
right?
It's like I think actually what happens is you go into a room and someone uses a sword and taps either shoulder and says you are now a doctor.
Second of all, this is a mega church that was featured on the ABC News program 2020 about ministers who become really wealthy by misusing their congregants' money. And then also in 2017, Fred Price Jr. stepped down after 8 years essentially as CEO, apologizing for serious personal misjudgments which have affected my life and family. And the church did not disclose what those misjudgments were, just like a publicly traded company, right? So this is, and of course he came back as CEO. He's now back. So this is the perfect, I think, place for the only person of color to be on the board, right? It acts just like a publicly traded company. It's perfect.
But that said, this is a stock exchange. This is a place.
Hey, I'm just saying, it's good experience, right? It's a family firm. CEOs come and go for ethical reasons. No one knows why. And there are fake doctors in leadership. It's perfect. It's Norfolk Southern.
Like, your job is to oversee like the legal and mechanics of trading stocks on an exchange. I'm not sure that family-run mega church in Los Angeles is a qualifying characteristic. I don't know what our knowledge maps are.
Let's get to the board of the Texas Stock Exchange. 7 directors have been named so far. 7 directors. How many are white dudes? 7 directors.
How many are white dudes?
Yeah, white dudes.
Well, we know there's only one woman, and we know there's only one person of color, and that's a dude. So that means there's 20 white dudes, right? Isn't that correct?
No, we're talking about just the board of directors now. 7 named board of directors.
Oh,
7.
That's not the leadership team. Got it. Board
How
of
many
directors.
are white
7
dudes?
Board
7.
of directors. Oh,
Texas Stock Exchange.
Boards are different, right? Because
they are.
They tend to like brown wash a board. The leadership team will be all white people, and then they throw in like a couple people of color and a couple of women. So I'm going to say out of 7, it's 4 white dudes.
No, you're way off on this and the Texas Stock Exchange. It's all white dudes, all 7. But you're right. You're right. The demographics did change because this is whereas the leadership team is like what, like 4% women. This is a 0%. So you're right.
Oh,
it is a
that's
change.
okay.
Yeah, all white dudes. How
It
many
did
of these
change.
seven? How many of these 7 white dudes are named Rick? Maybe this is an easier question for you. How many are named Rick?
Oh no! I need to take some time with this question. I've gotten so many of these wrong. How many are named Rick? Well, you wouldn't be asking the question if it was just one. Rick,
You know,
right?
you don't know. You don't know.
I don't know, but I'm going to go. I'm going to say 3.
Oh, you're close. It's 2. You're close.
Oh, I'm wrong.
And let's finish off Texas Stock Exchange. How many of the Ricks on the Texas Stock Exchange board were the former governor of Texas and forgave the 2010 BP oil spill as an act of God that cannot be prevented?
I'm going to go with 1.
Yeah, that's one.
Ricks.
Rick Perry.
I finally
That's
got
former
it right.
Governor Rick Perry.
I finally got one right.
What a genius. All right,
Wow.
that's it. That's the Texas Stock Exchange. Let's move on to the next headline
All right, let's
for
get
our
to
big
it.
quiz. Oh, the music changed.
I know. I'm going to change the music every question.
The headline is Major CVS Shareholder Plans Activist Push will meet with management. That's exciting. It's always exciting in our world because, again, our data at freeflowanalytics.com has a lot of data that really will help all activist investors. It helps you target maybe who you want to remove from the board, who you want to promote on the board, and maybe other directors you might want to add to the board. There's a lot you can do, activist investors, with our data. So here's the first question. True or false, the last appointed CVS director, Scott Kirby, who joined the board in October 2023, has expertise and experience relevant to CVS?
That one is false. I believe Scott Kirby is the CEO or ex-CEO of like United Airlines.
Very
So
good. Exactly. You're right. That's false. A well-known airline industry veteran.
on pharmacy.
What are we doing
retailer
here?
board.
What are we
Yeah.
doing? I don't know. Matt, what percentage of board influence is tied up with directors over 70 years old with average tenure of more than a decade? This is a very nerdy question.
This is you got. I like the first one. How many Ricks? This is.
We're getting a little more serious now.
I'm going to go with 40%. 40%.
Right on the nose. 40%. Yeah. So I'm only pointing this out because, again, for any clients, potential clients, people who just want to use the database, this right here is just like a great first target, right? You could open up almost half the board influence by targeting these directors for removal.
Well, this is what they did at Southwest. So Elliott, when they moved into Southwest, the Southwest board, something like 60% of the influence was people over 75. And
easy
including
peasy.
Gary Kelly, who'd been there since 1994. So this is like an easy way of saying how far out of step are you with what this company actually does rather than just recycling your friends. So,
Of those 4 directors, how many have relevant experience to the operations of CVS Healthcare?
Oh, that's my guess. So CVS is one of those, on the proxy countdown, we do this all the time. We find these like large, mature American companies that have, board members that basically are all MBAs and finance people and accountants. And then like nobody has relevant experience except for the CEO. So I'm going to go with none.
Close. It's 1. A man named Jean-Pierre Millon, a former CEO at PCS Health Systems and a former exec at Eli Lilly. But the other 3, a partner at a law firm, the former CEO of Ralph Lauren, and the senior advisor of the TPG Climate Rise Fund. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why they're on the CVS board.
What do we do?
How many CVS directors, according to our data, are batting over 400 in earnings?
Oh, wow. And there's 10 directors, you said? Or is it 12? And I think it's I'm just gonna make the answer 3, no matter what. I'm gonna say 3.
Yeah, I don't know. I should have written that down. I don't know how many directors there are. I think it's about. You're right. About 12. It's only 1, which is probably why they're a target. They probably looked at our data. It's just Michael Mahoney, who actually just joined last year. He's hitting 503. Overall, the team is hitting 214 in earnings. So maybe they did look at our data.
503
maybe they did.
Is like squarely average.
Middling.
500 is the averagest average.
Mediocre. Yeah. Overall they're hitting 214. So when was the last year that investors even noticed the board at CVS, Matt? When was the last time they even cared?
Um, hmm. It's a weird question.
It is a weird
because
question.
I'm not sure how to answer
Not very
that.
well worded either. Yeah.
I'm gonna say 2017. I don't know.
Whatever, you're close. 2020 was the last year a director received a vote even greater than 8% votes against. So investors
8%? Really?
investors
That's
don't even
paying
seem to
attention?
notice. No, they
Yeah,
don't seem to notice. And maybe this is why suddenly an activist investor comes in and is now making you sweat a little bit, right? You
Can we
should
talk
notice.
about this recurring pattern that like no one cares about directors until an activist swoops in, and then all of a sudden everybody has
Everybody
strong
cares,
opinions.
right?
Everyone cares then, and it's like you can care before the activist.
Well-
you actually have decades to care before an activist shows up.
For those of you who went to public school, it's a little bit like when the principal walks in the room to observe the class and the teacher, and then suddenly all the kids are sitting
All the
upright,
kids
right?
are
It's
really
like, what
good.
the fuck? Yeah. And finally, on which day of the fiscal calendar would CVS CEO Karen Lynch earn pay equal to the median compensation of CEO workers?
We
Which
covered this
day?
on Proxy Countdown. Is that her realized pay or is that her?
This is just
summary
total
comp?
summary comp. yeah.
Summary comp. Oh,
This is
well,
the-
then
this is
it's
the
a little
figure-
bit longer. It's like an extra day or two.
This is the figure released by the company itself in their proxy
I'm
statement.
gonna go with day 12.
Oh, you're off. Actually, it happens on the first day of the fiscal calendar. First day.
What?
Her rate 392 to 1 is that ratio. So there's a woman who might be worried about her job if activists are getting involved.
One day you make as much as
One day. Well, actually, to be
the
fair,
median
Matt,
employee.
it's less than a day. To be fair,
Oh, okay. Sorry.
she
Like
could
7
clock out
hours.
around like 2 p.m. and she's made as much as the median worker there at CPS.
That's not bad. That's not
All right.
bad.
That's CVS Healthcare. Let's move on to the next headline.
all right.
Charles Schwab. You got some music for me, Charles
Yeah, I'm
Schwab?
gonna go back to this.
Yeah, it's the
intense
right
music.
music for this company.
It's intense.
A lot of headlines today about this story. Charles Schwab CEO Walt Bettinger to retire at end of 2024. Rick Wurster to replace him. That's big news, right?
Yeah, it's-
CEO Charles Schwab stepping down.
This sounds
A
fine.
lot of
I don't
headlines.
care.
A lot of
Yeah, I don't
headlines.
know. It's-
But Matt, who is the true leader of the Charles Schwab
yeah,
Corporation?
it's a Schwab, isn't it? Charles Schwab, who's on
It's
the board.
Charles Schwab.
yeah, I think that's correct.
Yeah,
he's on the board.
So he's the founder. He's the former CEO, and he holds 6% of shares, which in a single a non-dual class share company, that's a lot. That's a
That's
significant
a lot of
amount.
shares.
Yeah.
How
According
much
to our
influence does he have? According to us, yeah.
there you go. That's the next question. According to our data, available only at freeflowanalytics.com, what is the actual influence of said Charles Schwab?
Oh well, he checks some boxes, and seeing as I
checks
know
a lot
how
of
the
boxes,
data,
yeah.
I'm going to say how that data works. I'm going to say 66%.
Yeah, it's basically correct. 64%. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
that sounds right.
So I don't know why the headlines seem to be missing the real power structure
I
at
like
Charles
I
Schwab.
like a good misleading headline, like guy chosen by founder replaced by other guy chosen by founder. I like that. That doesn't read as well.
So with that said, who is truly second in command after Charles Schwab? Is it retiring CEO Walt Bettinger or future CEO Rick Wurster?
Well, that question depends on whether or not Walt Bettinger will stay on the board after he retires as like executive chair for a little while in that
Interesting.
make-believe position. Because then he would truly be second in command.
I like where you're going.
I'm gonna say Bettinger's gonna stay second in command. He's gonna stick around for a little while.
I'm sorry, this was a trick question. It's actually Charles Schwab's daughter and former executive Carolyn Schwab Pomerantz, who is currently on the board of the Charles Schwab Corporation.
Oh,
Yeah.
so close. Though.
I have the feeling that she has a very close relationship with the founder and former CEO Charles Schwab.
What I mean, what a what a world! Like the headlines covering this are just so
Kind of missing the bigger
make-believe.
point. Yeah. Okay. How about this? What percentage of board influence is held by women who are not related to Charles Schwab? This is according to our data.
That one's easier because if I know that Schwab Pomerantz and Charles Schwab owns 64%,
Yeah, right.
and she's going to own probably another 12% on her own. That means you're talking about 75-ish% is owned by two people who are both named Schwab, and then you probably got a board that's really 50-50 split. But you've only got 25% ish of influence. I'm going to say 8%.
Very good. It's 9%
Yeah,
spread
there you
over
go.
4
There
women.
it is.
Yeah, there you go.
There
Sorry,
you go.
sorry. And finally, for this Charles Schwab headline, new CEO taking over. How many executive chairs does it take to oversee the Charles Schwab board?
Oh wow. Well, I mean, Charles is
Charles is one of them. Yeah,
one.
he's definitely one.
And then I my guess is Walt Bettinger's probably going to be
Yes.
there too, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly
so
right.
two. I'm going to two
Two,
executive
yeah,
chairs.
exactly
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
Why do we need that? Both of them are among the top 5 paid named executive officers. Why do we need this? Why do we need 2 executive chairs?
Even Walt being called executive chair, are we kidding?
What are we
with this?
doing?
Like,
What are we doing?
There's only one executive chair. It's the guy who owns 6% of the stock and founded the company. There's no other.
I was looking at the compensation policy at the company, and basically Charles Schwab is involved with all decisions. Like he has the right to he sets the pay for himself and for everybody else. Like he's involved in all the decisions everywhere.
I mean,
but this is not a controlled company, though. It's not technically allowed.
The headline, like for a throwback, it would be like Smithers takes over a nuclear power plant while Monty Burns stays on board. Like it's not a real thing. All right.
Let's move on.
Yeah, I like moving on.
Next couple
Moving
are
on is my
fun ones.
favorite
Next
thing.
couple are fun ones. Fill in the date. Okay, I'm going to read the headline. I took out the date. You fill it in. Fill in the date. Volkswagen ex-boss Martin Winterkorn has Dieselgate trial suspended until when due to ill health?
Oh man, I can't believe that we waited 12 years for this.
Well, that's the next question. That's the next
trial, and like as soon as they announce the trial, he falls ill, and they have to postpone it. It's life's
health.
a joke. I'm gonna guess February 7th, 2028.
That's the funny answer. It's actually 2025. We have to wait till 2025. And you referenced this. What year did Volkswagen admit to installing software to rig emissions levels in millions of diesel vehicles worldwide?
I believe
What year was that?
2011. I believe it was like September 2011.
You know, you might be right about that. The year they have written down here that they admitted it was 2015, but I thought it was before that. That's what this article says.
The investigation started like 3 or 4 years prior to.
Either way, it's been at least a decade, and we have to keep waiting. Okay.
Yay!
Yeah. And okay, finally, they reference ill health, right? That they're postponing this several months, right? What is the ill health that has caused a suspension of the trial? What is this mysterious ill health that he can't go to court?
Doesn't he have an allergy to justice? Isn't that what it is?
He also must have an allergy to Zoom, right? I don't know why they couldn't set up a Zoom in his home office.
I'm guessing it's something like, like his pinky finger's arthritic. What is it?
Okay, I'm going to give you the correct answer on that one. Listen to this. Listen to the reason why they postponed this. Winterkorn recently slipped in the shower and broke his right leg.
What?
What are we doing? What are we doing? Germany, what are you doing?
You know that they have like ways that when you break a bone,
It's called
you can
elevators.
Still move around.
Put him in the elevator. All right, that's it for the Volkswagen story. Justice, I guess, never going to be served. Is that where we're right?
Served in 2030.
Next one, spot the error in this headline. This one's very simple. Spot the error in this headline.
Okay, I like this.
Elon Musk's nonprofit settles labor board case for $450,000. I'll repeat that. Spot the error. Elon Musk's nonprofit settles labor board case for $450,000.
Wow, this is hard.
Okay.
Because it could arguably not be actually Elon Musk's nonprofit.
Could be one.
But more likely, it's not really a nonprofit. It's some way that he funnels profit to something else. And a labor board case, it may not be it at all either. $450,000 is probably the only thing that's true in that. I'm going to go with it's not a nonprofit.
Oh, sorry. But you were onto something there. The right answer is it's Kimball Musk's nonprofit. Like brother, like brother. They're both horrible people involved with the National Labor Board. So his nonprofit, Big Green, is paying this fine because they fired 10 workers because they were trying to unionize. Just like his brother.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
Wow.
I just love that Kimball Musk is in the news. He's actually in the news twice this week because they found an old video where Kimball Musk admitted that he and Elon were here in America illegally. They were illegal citizens for quite a bit of time while they were living here and forming companies. And this came out because, of course, Elon Musk hates every illegal whatever he wants. I don't know what he's calling these people. Illegal citizens, illegal. I don't know what his term is. In fact, he thinks that they're flying illegals to swing states to vote for Kamala Harris. And he also said that if you don't vote for Trump, there will never be an election again because if Kamala wins, our democracy is over. And I'm just saying, this is Kimball. I'm just excited because Kimball Musk in the news twice this week. Twice.
I'm not excited.
Both for great reasons. Both for great
Musk
reasons.
in the news. I'm not.
All right, let's move on quickly. Final question on our big quiz for October 1st, 2024.
This is the best This is the best question because it's final.
Another departing CEO, Weight Watchers CEO, is suddenly out of a job. That's the headline.
Suddenly.
You're not going to know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. What is the name of the departing CEO? And by the way, it's not Weight Watchers. The company is actually called WW International, but whatever.
It's like Simi something, isn't it?
Wow, I'm going to give you a correct answer right there.
Yeah,
it's
I can't remember her
Seema
last name.
Sistani. That's incredible.
Seema Sistani.
You have a great memory. Seema Sistani. Name 2 reasons why Seema might be quote unquote suddenly out of a job. Can you think of 2 reasons?
I mean, it's Weight Watchers, so like, if this sounds crass, but if she gained weight, would the board fire her?
That's a dark answer.
I don't know. I'm gonna guess that the fact that it's basically a penny stock.
That's the right answer. That's number 1. Yeah, that's
reason.
The share price is down to 84 cents from $40 in 2021 and about $10 when she took over. So she was already taking over kind of a glass cliff scenario there.
Well, the second reason is obviously Ozempic. It's like
give yourself an credit. Now listen to this. I had to conclude this because it made me laugh. Because when she took over, she sent Weight Watchers in a new direction, acknowledging that weight loss isn't necessarily a matter of willpower by acquiring a telehealth company that markets anti-obesity drugs. I mean, I gotta laugh at that. You have a company, Weight Watchers, and you're basically telling people that it doesn't really matter what you eat.
Yeah, well, when
like
you have
willpower,
Ozempic, that's what she's saying, right? Like,
yeah,
I'm surprised they didn't pivot dramatically to be a health lifestyle company or something like that, right? They changed the name Weight Watchers, I think, because
of that decision,
because of like the advent of Ozempic and Wegovy and all those drugs.
Before she left the board, how many of Weight Watchers' 9 directors were women? Now, I know you're going to channel the Texas Stock Exchange here. You might get confused.
No, this
how many were women?
The opposite, right? Like, isn't their thing, like their core demographic that they're, which is a little ridiculous because weight isn't specific to a gender, but their core demographic was women. So, and I know they had Oprah on their board.
Yes,
for a long time.
until May 2024. Yes.
So I'm gonna guess. You said 9 directors, so I'm going to guess 5 women.
Yes, right on the nose. A majority women. Yeah, and it's funny that you say that. You're setting the demographic, but that doesn't have any effect over most of the companies in our database. They don't care about the customers or the stakeholders when they, right? I mean, the Texas Stock Exchange as an example.
But I do think that there's a certain authenticity that goes with a company like this. Like, they try to stay true to their demographic. So, or what they perceive their demographic to be, I should say.
According to our data, Seema is stepping down with 28% of board influence, but the next 3 highest are all men with an aggregate 42% influence. So given that information, according to our data, who do you suspect is the interim CEO? Is it a man or a Glasscliff woman?
It's definitely a Glasscliff woman. Is
Yes,
there
yeah,
anything
yes.
else? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a woman named who they actually got a woman from the board, Tara Comonte. And let me ask you this final question of the quiz for October 1st, 2024. Probably my favorite question of the whole quiz. The interim CEO of Weight Watchers. I'm going to repeat that. The interim CEO of Weight Watchers was formerly the CFO at which company?
Ooh. Okay. So you're giving me a clue by emphasizing the word weight.
I like this. I just like this. It tickled me.
but oh man, I'm gonna go with, I don't know, Boeing.
Oh, well, you're going in a different direction, but the answer is Shake Shack.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Shake Shack.
That's
yeah,
a
that's
real
right.
thing?
Which is delicious. I love a juicy, high caloric cheeseburger at Shake Shack. It's wonderful. It's probably your entire day's calories, though. I'm just going to warn you.
That
Add the
can't be
shake,
real.
add the delicious shake and fries. You're probably into like day 3. You've already eaten like the median calories for 3 of your workers for the entire year if you've had that
can't
delicious
be real. That's not
cheeseburger at Shake
real,
Shack.
is
Yes,
it?
it is.
That's
Tara Comonte. Yes, absolutely.
That's the worst thing I've ever
That's
heard.
it. That's the quiz.
That is your Hazelnut Rallis, and I am your analyst hole.
That's a great way to get your ESG news, by the way.
Honestly, I don't know why we don't do this every week. We'll be back again. We actually, this week's weird because Dave's
It's weird.
gone for the end of the week. We're gonna
Civic
do a
duty. I have my
countdown
civic duty. Yeah.
next week. We might have a wrap-up show on Friday. We might.
You should.
not.
You should find some.
Should.
Find
I'm
a
gonna
guest
try
star.
to get it together. I'm going to try to. If you want to be a special guest,
Yeah, I was
on
gonna
the
say,
show,
call up. Call somebody.
send me an email. Hit me on
Yeah.
LinkedIn.
1-800-YOU-WISH. I think our number is 1-800-YOU-WISH.
We are going to do like a guest appearance. If we can put it together, a guest appearance, short notice guest appearance for Friday's show where we wrap the week. Now, you got to be okay calling people assholes and rating stories.
All you need is a pulse and a microphone.
Well, can we set the bar slightly higher than that? Like just a little bit.
A beating
That's all
pulse.
we
A beating
got.
pulse.
Until then, goodbye.